passion, natural talent. It all helps, but no one makes it as a professional charter captain on their own. A skill must be taught. A fire must be lit. For anglers on a quest to learn this trade, Marathon, Florida is both the journey and the destination.
Looking good.
The docks of Marathon, Florida are home to students who became teachers and teachers who became masters. And one must take the pursuit seriously.
Barely hooked, that thing fell right out of there.
Just like a workout.
Just a couple fish curls.
Captain Brandon Simmons may seem like the kid at the back of the class, but he's no clown.
My mommy always told me I was special, so.
Okay, maybe just a smidge.
My sister lived here for about 8 years. I used to come down and visit her, and I met some fishermen that do what I get to do now, and they just kept telling me, if this is what you love to do, you need to come down here because there's no better place to be in the world. I packed all my stuff up and I came down, and man, I don't regret it one bit.
Marathon, the Florida Keys' middle child, a 10-mile-long island that is neither the introverted Upper Keys nor the extroverted Key West. It's the Goldilocks Key, just right. Brandon is a captain with 2 Conchs fishing charters, but he started under the tutelage of Captain Dave Schillinger of Tailwalker Sportfishing.
He's a badass.
There's a big fish in these weeds right here. Big fish, pitch! Wes, I can see the dolphin under the birds. Brandon fished with me for about 2 years. He's a great fisherman. The kid's, he's young. He's 25, 26 years old. And, you know, at a certain point, these mates, they learn what they can learn, and then it's time for them. They want to be captains. They want to run their own boats. The bad part for us is they have to move on, and you have to train another one.
A good mate can make a bad captain look good, and a good captain can make a bad mate look good. But you get a good mate and a good captain out there, they don't even have to speak to each other. They already know each other's next moves. Everything that is happening is so fluent. If you can get it like that, you're hands down gonna catch more fish than anyone else.
On day 1, Brandon heads offshore into the Atlantic for a mixed bag of jacks, snapper, and pompano.
Take me out of the water, guide me to the border, and see me home. Guard me, steer me through the wasteland. I can be a shadow that sails with you.
Brandon fished with me for about 2 years. He's a great fisherman. I knew every move he was going to make, and he knew every move I was going to make. But they have to move on, then you have to train another one.
With bait procured, Brandon departs Faro Blanco Marina and heads to the Atlantic side of the Florida Keys.
He's out.
The Almaco jack is a doppelganger for the amberjack. They're hard to tell apart, especially when they're younger. Look for the stripe over the Almaco's eye.
You just can't run away, you just can't run away. It's not as easy as that from a man dressed in black.
We decided to go wreck fishing and look for the mutton snappers. First wreck we hit, we got lucky.
Mutton snapper are known residents of wrecks. They tend to cruise the perimeter around rubble and sea fans, sometimes several hundred feet off structure.
Give me the tail, baby!
Man dressed in black.
We hooked an African pompano, he fought really hard, got him up to the boat, and it's day made, right, So we go do another one, another African pompano. We did another one, another African pompano. It's a good mutton spot of mine, but you can't pass up those bites. You can't even get past them. They're eating everything.
Resident of the deep water reefs and wrecks, the African pompano is known for its speed and stamina and a slim, compressed body with metallic coloring. A giant nickel with a dorsal fin and tail.
We caught about 4 African pompanos. We kept 2 and released 2. We got 1 nice mutton snapper on that spot, and we moved around to a few different wrecks trying to search for a better mutton bite. Got into some amberjacks and some jack crevalles.
Back down to the deep.
It was definitely a busy day. Had the drag screaming all day long.
Nice African.
Woo! Nice! That's a good one, boys. It's like a big disco ball down there. The water was green, I couldn't tell what it was.
Sword fishing is the worst addiction I've ever had. You can watch that rod tip bounce for hours just to get that bite.
Daytime sword fishing is something of a new, old phenomenon. It's no easy task. You're letting out 1,600 feet of line. That's 1/3 of a mile. So yeah, it ain't just dropping prey. Dave has figured out a technique to more accurately hit his target on the bottom. As he lets out the weighted line, he makes a turn to account for the current and the boat's drift.
We make a hard left turn and come back to where we started to set our gear to put the belly in the line. It's a lot quicker to set your gear that way. It's all about how many drops I can make a day for our odds to get hooked up. I get at least one extra drift a day because we're able to get our gear down without tangling that way.
It's no surprise that there's still much to learn about an animal that has been found in 9,000 feet of water. But tagging programs, such as the one managed by International Game Fish Association, are providing new information.
We have a tagging program that's been in existence since 1990, and they are your traditional tags. With that tagging program, we're able to understand their growth rate, their migration patterns, and their movement patterns, as well as what's really important is post-release mortality as well.
All right, buddy, thanks.
Close to 60 or 70% of what we know about billfish in general comes from tagging programs like TVFs. So all these traditional tags that anyone can purchase and buy and participate in, these tagging programs, have contributed significant amounts of information and research to understanding of these species.
The Tailwalker departs Faro Blanco. It cuts through the Atlantic at a full sprint, looking for a sword fight. With deep dropping for swords, there are no bent rod heroics or cool guy posturing. The fishing is slow and methodical. It's chess, not rugby.
He's on! Woo! 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 Now the hard part, keeping him on.
I love it when this happens.
I feel like
You gotta get the harpoon ready. Now's the nervous time.
Every time I see that rod go whoop like that, it makes you really, this is the game, getting them to the boat. And this fish, he ate it hard. I think he's got a pretty good hook in him. We'll see.
Over the course of the day, one sword makes one appearance. That's it. All that time and effort for 4 seconds of footage. But that's sword fishing. High risk, high reward.
They just have such a soft mouth. That was a perfect example on that fish. We get him right to the boat, and we take the lead, and as soon as he just got a little bit of slack, just shakes it.
Well, we've got bait, and we've got a boat. Time to change things up.
All right, Wes, here's what you need to do. Bring that fish in, that bait, drop the rigger, find home on that GPS for me, and get ready to dolphin fish.
Today, the tailwalker walks away empty-handed, at least when it comes to swordfish. But there's no reason to return home yet. How does the saying go? Something about other fish in the sea?
All right, Wes, here's what you need to do. Bring that fish in, that bait, drop the rigger, find home on that GPS for me, and get ready to dolphin fish.
Two captains, one species. With Brandon, it's a slicked-off day when the ocean looks like a giant swimming pool. With Dave, it's a plan B after an outing with little success. The teacher and the student.
Day 2, we got out there and we headed offshore. We're looking for those mahi-mahis. We got out there about 600 foot of water, and we found our first set right away. We got into about 10 fish, some schoolies, not really big fish, but some keepers. Once you got that first one up to the boat, the whole school popped up, and as many baits as you could pitch out there, you were hooking up and bringing them in the boat left and right. We left that school and headed a little bit deeper out, maybe 750, 800 foot of water. Found a nice weed line out there, worked around that weed line. Oh, that one came out of nowhere. There was a giant school of nice heavy lifter schoolies out there. A few nicer fish, maybe 15-pounders, but there was just so many schoolies there we couldn't get our bait past them, and we were just pulling them in left and right. It was a beautiful thing, one of the best days I've seen all year.
A willing striker, an insatiable eater, amenable to sight casters, acrobatics and colors that make it a darling of magazine covers, and quite tasty. There isn't much more you can ask of the dolphin. An A-list game fish.
That was pretty sweet, huh?
Brandon left Tailwalker Sportfishing because it was time to take the next step. And Dave knows that every good mate eventually moves on. And he'll share his knowledge with the next man up.
This isn't an easy lifestyle by any means. It's definitely fun, but we're out there every day, from sun up to sundown. We're out there all the time, catching bait, getting the boat ready, cleaning the boat, fixing the boat. It's a 24/7 job, no matter what. But if you have the passion and you love it, it's not a job. I haven't worked a day in my life since I moved down here. It's been nothing but a blessing.
It's nice to see the growth in them. It's nice for us to watch where these mates go. My mate before Brandon's, he's actually in Maui right now. So it's kind of neat to watch where they go after they leave the boats. Brandon still fills in for me. I have a great relationship with Brandon. If I'm in a bind or I need him to help me train my new mate, he jumps on and shows him some things that really help it out.
It's the job of all anglers to teach, to pass it on. Because what's the alternative? I don't know about you, but I'd rather be on an endless highway than a dead-end street.